Hi guys, let's talk today about shooting expired film. The best way to shoot it is not to shoot expired film. Okay, that's it. I hope you like it. Remember to shoot film, please subscribe and see you in the next one. Bye guys! Okay guys, I'm just kidding. Let's talk about shooting expired film and how I do it. Generally, you need to be prepared that shit happens and you can get no photos or get very poor quality photos. I can see only two reasons that you may want to shoot expired film. First, you may like the look of expired film if it works and you get images. Second, you get very good deal and you buy many films for steal price. Then great. You just spend some money on film that you may not get images. But it's up to you. We can prolong or extend life of our film by putting it to freezer or at least having it in the fridge. Low temperature makes degrading film much slower. But of course, if we buy film from unknown source, we don't have guarantee that it was cold stored in a freezer or in the fridge. For example, as you see on this image, all these 35mm films were very hot stored, and these medium format films, a seller claimed that they were cold stored. And these 35mm films I get from my old room in my parent house, and it was stored on the shelf against the window, so the temperature was between 26 up to 40 something degrees for last 15 or so years. So yeah, we divide films into three groups. First is color negative, second is black and white, and third is E6 or color positive film. And each of these groups behave different when they expired. So let's start with color negative film. The most common thing and common rule is to add one stop of light per 10 years of expiration. But probably we all know already this rule and it's nothing new, and if this is new, pay attention, I will try to explain how it works. Let's assume that I have roll of film that it is, for example, Portra 400, and it expired in 2006, exactly 20 years ago. Sticking to this rule, I need to add two stops of light to get decent results. And how to do it? So we take our 400 ISO, divided by 2, we get 200 ISO, and this is one step. And these 200 ISO we divide by half, and we get 100 ISO. And this is our two stops of light added to this film. So basically, instead of shooting this Portra 400 at 400 ISO, we shoot it at 100 ISO, and we should get decent results. This rule works quite good because negative film handle overexposure much better than underexposure. This Fuji Pro H400, this is 2011, so 15 years after expiration date. Okay, so we are loaded, and there is a question as always, because this is 2011 and we have 2026, so this is 15 years, yes? Yes, 15 years. But this is 400 speed film, so we should use a rule of 10 years plus one stop of light, and now we should half of the roll plus one and half plus 1.5 stop, and we will judge. Let's go. Okay guys, so as I told you, and as you can see, I'm currently shooting this Fujifilm at +1 stop, so at 200 ISO. For my camera I use my Nikon F90X with a zoom lens. This is 28-70 f2.8 lens. As you can see, there is digital setup. I teach Agnieszka to be a photographer, so we use this session to teach Agnieszka and so I can make some shots to use in this video. Our first model is Natalia, and as you can see, we shoot on cyclorama. I use one light with large octagonal softbox and negative fill on from opposite side. First images are, like I told you, +1 stop. Then I remeasure the light and set up it to be at ISO 160. I think that there is not much difference between these shots, maybe very small in color, but the biggest one you can see on the last two frames, when on sides we can see very purple color casts. But I don't know, is it due to change of ISO or because this film wasn't cold stored and it's just expired film. And you know, that's the way with expired film. We have some different colors, artifacts and weird shadows. When doing preparation for this film, I found one more rule about shooting color negative film. And this rule is about films higher than 400 ISO, because technically film that is higher ISO than 400. So for example, Portra 800, Fuji Natura 1600 and some other old films degrades quicker than mid ISO and low ISO films. So the rule tells us that we need to add extra half a stop to that stops that we already added. So for example, we get Portra 800 with the same expiration date of 2006, so it's 20 years old. So normally we will shoot it at 200 speed, and then we need to add this extra half stop of light to our 2 stops of light that we already have. So we have 200, so 2 stops, and now we need to add half stop of light, so we need to shoot this film at ISO 160 or 125, it's up to you. I would probably shoot it at 160. Second film, this one is Portra, as you can see. This is old Portra VC, 160 VC, and date for this film is 2008. I hope you can see. You can see, I hope. And this is 2008, so almost 20 years. So let's do 2 stops. This second film, as you could see, is Portra 160 VC. I decided to shoot it plus 2 stops of light, so at ISO 40. You know, from 160 to 80 it is 1 stop, and from 80 to 40 it is another stop. For light we did not change anything. Okay, maybe one thing, we added grid to the softbox to reduce spill of light. But still we use one light, this time on my left, and the negative fill was on my right. Natalia did change the outfit and we changed the location of this shoot. I don't remember how this film should look, but I think that it is nice looking and that it maybe really was cold stored because colors are nice. I don't get too much color shifts, and overall these photos look very nice. Okay guys, let's talk more about what you already seen and why I decided to shoot these expired film test rolls in studio. First of all, where I live, so in Poland, it's winter time and it's cold outside, it's not much light and it's cold outside, and few of these shots I need to shoot at ISO like 25, so shutter speeds would be very long and would be hard to handheld. And second of all, it would be hard to find a model to shoot in these conditions. So third of all, it was much easier to find a model that would like to pose to our session in studio where it's warm and where I can control the light, so I can put more power to my flashlights, so I can get decent f-stops and decent shutter speeds when shooting very low ISO. So guys, another roll of portrait. This one is VC also, but this one is 400 VC. Wait, I will. You see? 400 VC. And this one is 2008. So this one is 18 years after expiration date. So 10 years plus 1. This is 18 years. Let's do plus 2. So 400 to 200, 200 to 100. So let's shoot this one at 100 ISO. And we will see. I will show you guys. Agnieszka is shooting. Schodzi. So, as I told you, Agnieszka is shooting digital, and I'm loading Portra 400 VC to my Mamiya bag. As you can see, I'm still shooting 65mm lens from Interfoto. Thank you guys very much for this lens. As you can see, I did change the light. Now I use one light with reflector bounced from the diffusion panel. I added two negative fills and small white bounce from underneath. I added LED light to have more light to make my focusing easy. I did measure and check on digital, it don't change the exposure of my shots. Oh, and we have new model, as you can see. This time our model is Kinga. Okay, get back to light. I did the same setup what we shoot at the beginning. This 400 Portra did a little worse than 160 Portra. There is bigger color shift and light latitude get narrower compared to fresh one. Okay guys, I think about color negative this is all. Let's talk about black and white. Generally, black and white films tend to degrade much slower. Of course, higher speed black and white films degrade quicker than lower speed films, black and white films of course, but still they degrade slower than color films. And from what I found, we can use the same rules as for color negative film, so adding one stop of light per 10 years of expiration, or some people say that you can add one stop of light per 20 years of expiration. But I would stick to the color negative rules because black and white film can handle overexposure as good as color film or even better. And you should now see backstage and my results, but black and white film did not arrive on time, so I didn't shoot it on this session, and that is second reason to make second part of this video where I will test this black and white film, the Portra 800 rule, so the higher ISO speed rule, and maybe I will try to find very old film and test it as well. We will see, because these rules are almost the same, so I don't know if there is a place for a second part. Okay, let's now shoot Fuji Color 100 that you could see on that photo earlier. That film expired also in 2008 and I shot it plus 2 stops, so at ISO 25. Now I think that I should shoot it at ISO 50, because even that I measure light with my handheld Sekonic, most of these shots were overexposed in highlights. Or maybe it is consumer grade film and it is degrading a little bit different than pro films. You never know, it is always a gamble with expired film. Of course, I shot this film with my Nikon and did small adjustments to light. I flagged the light to darken the background and use fill on my left. And then I add grid one more time to narrow the light and change my left fill to negative fill this time. So let's go more into this topic and let's talk about color positive films. So let's talk about E6 films. So if you want to shoot expired color positive film, you are on your own for a few reasons. First one, shooting expired E6 film is always a gamble. It's even not about cold or hot storage of this film. This film should not be shooted when it's expired. So yeah, if you want to shoot expired E6, it's a gamble and it's like 50-50 that you will get decent image, and it's 25 or even more chance that you will get no image at all, or so weird artifacts, color shifts, etc. that you will end it with not usable image. Second of all, you need to shoot E6 at box speed and then pray that you will get anything on that image, because E6 film, even when it's fresh, it's not good for over or underexposure. It have very narrow latitude, so you need to shoot it spot on, and adding or subtracting light is not good in fresh, and in expired definitely you probably need to shoot it box speed and just pray. So yeah, it's no for me, I don't shoot E6. So yes guys, I probably cannot say that yes, go buy expired films. All my films were good and I get images on all of them and they look quite nice, I can say even more than nice, but still shooting expired film is a gamble and I cannot say yes, go buy expired film and shoot it. No, it's your money and it's your decision. You need to do it by yourself, and you always need to remember that this is a gamble, and I don't know, is it worth spending money and getting the risk when price of fresh film is not so much higher. Of course, if you can buy it very cheap and you are ready to take the risk of shooting expired film and, for example, spending few $100s on film that can be dead and you can get anything on it, then great. But for me this is too much risk and I prefer fresh film, and I will probably stick to the fresh film. And I think this is all I can say about shooting expired film. I hope you guys like this video, subscribe to my channel, remember to shoot film. See you in the next one. Bye guys, this time for real. Bye. Sorry for the noise, guys.